even if you use gestures there, you know that you have not only your the stage sets behind, but you have some sort of, you have some sort of decor here, by which your hands have. You cannot do it here because there is something here. Also for man, you can't do it. So it's nice to rehearse this with a little panier, and then you see all the time when you move. This panier does this and that.
What will happen during this workshop, during this weekend?
During these 4 days, I will first offer the singers, but also a public, an interested public, which are more than only singers, big overview from where the gesture language comes from, of what it is part of, and give as much as possible information of the whole aesthetical, cultural and philosophical background of acting in the 17th and 18th century, acting with singing. And then afterwards I will try to get this language into the bodies of the people. We will do some group exercises where the basic parameters and elements of the Baroque gesture language will be explored. And then afterwards, because of course gesture is only done by actors, singers, we need text, and with or without music. I will coach singers aria after aria and recitative after recitative, so that they can try to make the combination of the knowledge and the practice. So I'm not someone who say,
why is it relevant to work with Baroque gestures today, in today's musical life and today's theatrical life?
I am not so much into into the relevance. I think it's just part of it. It is what it is. And just like we think it's relevant now to consider a historical performance practice in the orchestra, and also even in the singing technique and the style, I think it's quite normal that when it's opera music that you apply the same historical informed performance practice on the stage. So for me it is relevant because it is part of it, and it makes the work, the opera work, so the whole composition more complete than without this acting, so to speak, this acting art as it was done in those days with that music. So the relevance is not the main goal from which I part. Nonetheless, I feel by doing it that it becomes very relevant, and that it gives another way of listening, even, and certainly of watching to the genre Baroque opera.
What kind of reactions do you get from audiences when they watch these kind of productions?
Most of the time they're thrilled. Of course, not every audience has to be pleased. It's also a question of taste. One person likes to go to a modern museum and not, or is more into contemporary art, for example. But even those who are very critical, they are charmed, they are emotionalized, they forget about time. An opera by Händel that is normally 3 hours is just over in like half an hour. So they are really transported into a world which lifts them sometimes into corners of emotional impact that they were not aware of, that it's possible with that music. So for the public, it's not a problem at all. They are enormously charmed.
Just the last question, from theaters, I mean, other directors and critics and so on, what kind of reactions do you get there?
Well, the critics, most of the time, they speak about all what they think will not work. Vorurteil, I do not know the English word. Yes, it is static, it doesn't work, it looks like museum, it is a mechanical art, but the critics always say that because they never saw it. Then afterwards, when they have seen it, sometimes they do not know, because they do not have the tools yet. They do not know how to criticize it, the quality of it, because of course it is new for the most people who display it on the stage, so the quality is not all the time very high, not yet. But they do not know how to criticize it. So that's sometimes very strange. I even had some reactions that I wrote a whole article in the press. Normally it doesn't work because. And then in the end, the critic had to say, but I must say I was really blasted away for more than 3 hours. But he couldn't say why. So we need some time and more experience there, I think. I have very good critics from the singers themselves. And that's what's keeping me doing this, because they explore a Baroque world, an aesthetical world, and a world also where they act, which is in total symbiosis with the music they sing. And it makes them understand the text much better. They get some sort of personenregie, which is more than just stand here and be part of that concept, but they get details, what to do with their eyes, with their hands, with their whole body, which gives them an extra tool also when they're singing even Schubert or in concert. So this is very nice to have this idea. And I even have sometimes reactions of the musicians who say that they feel so lucky and so happy that at least they play in a concept which is totally also theirs, and not sitting in the pit and doing early music and seeing something totally different on stage.